we are discussing with a Chinese company, and as the discussions are going on well. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be done. It's not something that you will just start and finish today. So the designs are being done. We'll move from there to commercial issues, and then at the end of the day, we'll do it.
Yes, so my people, welcome back to Gospel News, where we give you Ogbonge information on as it take the go. And I don't finally hear from the governor of Abia State, where they call Governor Alexotti with the better things when in getting stuck to make sure, say, Abia State comes to limelight and the development where they work around the country enter inside Abia State. To as it they happen now, when I don't see them say Port Harcourt Aba train service begins operation month end, which is by the end of March. When I don't see and say transportation don't really go up inside Nigeria as the president, what they call President Tinubu, remove fuel subsidy the moment when he become the president inside Abuja. So because of this one now, the governor of Abia State don't talk saying go do everything possible to make sure saying bring the price of transportation to the least. Make every common man feed afford them. As it happen, they say the federal government on Saturday said trans services on the Port Harcourt to Aba route would commence operations by the end of March. The news agency of Nigeria reports that the Port Harcourt Aba rail project is part of the larger Port Harcourt Meduguri Railroad project initiated by former President Muhammadu Buhari's government. The managing director, Nigerian Railway Corporation, Mr. Fidet Okiria, disclosed this in Port Harcourt after leading a delegation to test run the reconstructed Eastern Narrow Gauge rail line. He said workers were currently putting finishing touches on the tracks to ensure the full train service as it take one time. When I go see say this train service go connect a lot of places inside the country, make a movement day easy. And also the Eastern Rail Line, we go connect Aba to other parts of the Eastern state when they for Nigeria. As it takes here, so now so we take the talk and on I go remember say they don't still commission the new geometric power plant for Aba to make sure say everywhere don't begin they get light inside Abia State. Now remember say Aba now one of the organized cities when they for Nigeria. Because if you enter inside Aba, you go from there, they link Port Harcourt, Enugu, Owerri, Calabar, and other places where we say it dey for the southeastern parts of the country, including South. Now, the managing director, Nigeria Railway Corporation, Mr. Fidet Okera, disclosed this in Port Harcourt after leading a delegation to test run the narrow gauge line. As it be so. Una don't see him. So I go want make all of una they congratulate the governor because he's really doing wonders. I am impressed with what I saw today, especially being able to ride the locomotive and wagon on the tracks. Last week we visited. We could not use the train because the contractor said it was not proper to run on the rail due to imbalance of the tracks. The minister of Transportation, Muazu Sambu, has directed that the Port Harcourt route be connected to rail as well as initiate the linkage of One Port, he said. So with all this development coming speedily to the southeastern part of the country, we hope that seaport will begin to come into place and the southeast will regain its business status in the country called Nigeria. And all the people, investors, will be say they don't run away before they will begin to return because development has returned. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah. Good evening, listeners. Thank you for having me.
I must congratulate you for perhaps a milestone in the history, not only of Abia, but of Nigeria. But if everyone who complained over the years, we're over 40 years, we've complained about epileptic power supply. And for some reasons, if a part of Nigeria is going to be enjoying an industrial zone as Aba is going to be enjoying an uninterrupted power supply, that is not only a miracle in our time, but it's a good news. give us an understanding, because there are a lot of talks about what happened, how this happened, but give us an insight briefly about this.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your kind words, and we are glad that Geometric has taken off after all. This is a project that was started in 2004. The former governor of Abia State, distinguished Senator Otti, was the one on seat at that time, and he gave all the necessary waivers and approvals, and Geometric started work. Sometime in 2010, like I reported, Professor Bat Nnaji walked into my office, then as executive director of First Bank, and to appeal that the former bank that was funding the project, owing to the global economic crisis of that time between 2008 and 2009, had stopped funding the project immediately, and he needed support to complete the project. We processed an $85 million facility for him, and unfortunately, he couldn't draw down that facility because the board of the bank felt that because I was proceeding to Diamond Bank as the CEO, that it would not make any sense to allow the company to withdraw the facility or to draw on the facility when the person that was going to manage it was not there. I believe it made a lot of sense. Because understanding the project is as important as forcing the money. So I was headed to Diamond Bank, which actually was the bank that was initially funding the project. So on getting to Diamond Bank, we did a few things, restructured the facility, and saw it to completion by October 2014, the time I left Diamond Bank. But a lot of things happened thereafter, and that made it impossible for the project to take off. There was the unfortunate sell and resell of the Abia First Island, and that took a life of its own. And when that was resolved, Shell, which owned the major oil block that was supposed to supply gas to Geometric, had alienated the oil block and sold it to another company whose major focus at that time was not gas, or even if it was not gas for domestic use, for exports. And by the time we took over on the 29th of May, we sat down with Geometric a few times and then engaged with NNPC. And subsequently, NNPC deployed their partners and gas was made available. Therefore, the 141 megawatts Geometric power, that is the capacity at this time, but it's expandable to 181 megawatts when the final turbine is delivered. So it was commissioned on Monday by His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, and then a lot of friends of Abia and members of his entourage. The good news right now is that as we speak today, the third turbine has been fired. So the 3 turbines are on. It will take anywhere between another 7 to 10 days to test all the electrical equipment, the transmission line, the substations, and maximum in 10 days, at least 141 megawatts of power will be available for the Abia First Island. My discussion with Professor Bat Nnaji is that Abia at the moment may not require more than 80 megawatts of power. So close to another 60 megawatts of power will be available, which in the first instance will be channeled to the national grid. We expect that with the discussions we are having with EEDC, that part of that capacity would go to Umuahia, because we're discussing with EEDC on some arrangements to also isolate the Umuahia Island, and that would include the remaining 8 local governments of Abia State, so that we can also begin to have, even if I don't say constant supply of power, I believe that power outage will be the exception rather than the rule, which is the situation at this time.
All right. Thank you for the background that you have laid. But also, it might also be good for our viewers to know that that project is perhaps the very first of its kind and the first independent and integrated power utility in Nigeria. So in some sense, it's the first. I'd like you to emphasize or say tonight or clarify for us tonight two quick things. Your predecessor, Governor Ekpazu, did he play a major role in the success of this project?
Well, it's difficult for me to say, but I'm aware that he joined the geometric management team to South Africa sometime in 2018 or 2019 to sign a loan agreement of about $50 million, part of which was used to settle the dispute between geometric and EETC. But the records available to me do not show that the government guaranteed that loan. So the loan was given on the back of the assets of geometric. So it's difficult for me to say what other thing he did, but I'm also aware that there is an argument going on in the media about a 5% investment, which would have equated $5 million, which the Abia State government is said to have been made into the project. I do not have any documents to that effect. That was not handed over to me either. So it's just an argument. But I've also asked the Commissioner for Finance and others, including the Accountant General, to go through and let's find out if there is any truth to that. So other than those two issues, I'm not too sure there's any other thing that I would say he did, to the best of my knowledge. But maybe Geometric will be in a better position to respond specifically to that question.
Okay. So
All right, my people, now don't finally hear from our able governor, the governor of Abia State. As it dey happen, no, make una let us know what una the reason follow the matter. Drop your comment on the comment section. Don't also forget to share this good news when the governor they carry enter inside 18 for Abia State to make sure say the place see light too and easy transportation for everybody when they far. But I believe say investors go down the trooping to Abia State to enjoy and be part of this development. We don't hit the God's own state in Nigeria. God bless Governor Alexotti for all this development when they carry enter inside Abia State. Let us know your opinion through the comment section and I'll be waiting to see your reaction. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Bye-bye.